Hello guys, Bitcoin is seeing an ever so slight rejection on this very important Bitcoin horizontal resistance. But what we're currently seeing is that Bitcoin is part of a larger consolidation phase, which is going to be having an enormous breakout in the upcoming days. And on today's update video, I will be exactly refilling my price targets of this exact Bitcoin Senegal triangle. I will talk about the most important charts to be looking at right now. What is the next move for Bitcoin? How is the history repeating right now? And many more important charts. Looking at the imminent short term on Bitcoin yesterday on the channel, we were looking at the symmetrical triangle. On my Twitter page, I have talked about it many times, that this is a gigantic Bitcoin opportunity. Yes, exactly once we broke outside of it, we straight away saw this continuation towards the upside. Bitcoin was about to hit 70,000. At the moment, we broke outside of this better. Yes, if you're measuring the price target of this breakout, the breakout target was sitting around 68.5 thousand, which was an approximately 3% towards the upside. So to anyone who took the breakout trade here on Bitcoin, congratulations. But afterwards, Bitcoin has seen a slight little rejection towards the downside. And honestly, yes, yesterday I discussed that Bitcoin indeed is right now creating a very historical pattern. You can clearly see that Bitcoin is creating a very similar structure. You can see that first we created this bearish divergence in 2020 moments before breaking above the all-time high. Then we had that correction, we bounced back up, then we create this horizontal consolidation phase, and then we broke lower again. After that, we formed a higher low on the bottom, and Bitcoin, of course, started to begin that exponential Bitcoin bull run. So we're seeing everything be so similar compared to 2020, and yes, the only big difference compared to now in 2020 is that Bitcoin already has been trading above that red line for a long time. The red line is, of course, the Bitcoin previous autumn high, but indeed the structure is extremely similar, and history is not always repeating, but it does usually tend to rhyme. I honestly think that this is a very similar distribution pattern like we saw in 2020, and I really believe that in this stage of the market, I'd rather be too bullish than too bearish on Bitcoin. I mean, yes, we still got a slight little CME gap trading below us, but like I said many times before, on 9,400, we've also still got a CM gap trading, and that one never got filled up. I see that a lot of people are saying, oh, we need to wait for the CM gap to fill up. But of course, if you're going to be waiting for the CM gap to fill up, you're potentially going to be missing out of that next gigantic Bitcoin bull market. I honestly think that this is a very similar distribution pattern like we saw in 2020, and I really believe that in this stage of the market, I'd rather be too bullish than too bearish on Bitcoin. I mean, yes, we still got a slight little CME gap trading below us, but like I said many times before, on 9,400, we've also still got a CM gap trading. I honestly think that this is a very similar distribution pattern like we saw in 2020, and I really believe that in this stage of the market, I'd rather be too bullish than too bearish on. So don't get trapped right now. Don't get fooled right here, because yes, Bitcoin doesn't necessarily has to be filling up that CME gap, in my opinion. You can see here on the 4-hourly time frame is that we also exactly got a rejection of this very important horizontal level resistance that's previously provided some support. So if you're interested in trading, make sure to go to the link description of today's video so you could be opening up your own trades as well. Going further in towards the content, we're starting to see that actually the funding rates are becoming negative on Bitcoin, which means that of course people are starting to short this move towards the downside, and that is generally speaking a very good thing here. Because if you've been following the channel, you do know that every single time once the funding rate is so deep negative, it is equaling a gigantic opportunity in the market to be opening up massive Bitcoin long positions. We're starting to see the first signs that the funding rates are actually dipping negative right now. And in the last bull market, every single time, once the funding rates in the bull market dip negative, it was an enormous opportunity to be opening up a massive Bitcoin long position. So as funding rates are potentially turning negative, I am going to be starting to open up big long positions on Bitcoin, but so far it is just ever so slight negative. I want to see the confirmation of like 1 or 2 days that the fitting rates are negative. and then I'm going to be opening up a massive position on Bitcoin. I do really think that if Bitcoin creates another lower low here, that the fitting rates will most certainly get very negative and people will definitely become very bearish on Bitcoin. And at that point, of course, it will even open a bigger position. And like I said many times before, if it comes towards the range here on the lower side, I'm going to be opening up $1 million worth of buy orders on Bitcoin. So even fur in towards the content, guys, yesterday we saw more than $100 million worth of BTC inflows on the S&P Bitcoin ETF. And yes, on the bigger perspective, this is the most important pattern that we're currently looking at with a breakdown. Target if we break below, support sitting around 55,000, and with a bullish breakout target if we're going to be breaking the down strong line sitting around 885,000 US. So Bitcoin indeed is getting ready for a gigantic move here. You can clearly see it on the daily time frame. We're creating a perfect consolidation phase right below all-time high, and this is just basically perfectly aligning with what we're expecting. And honestly, the support is perfect. The resistance is perfect. Bitcoin is just getting ready for a gigantic move. And this is going to be the next move. It's going to be either up or down. And I'm going to be trading it towards both directions whenever I do see that potential breakdown or bullish breakout towards the upside. And of course, I'm going to take in account how the funding rates are developing and how things are looking to potentially see that we are going to get a fake out. Because yes, sometimes from time to time, you do see major fake outs on these breakouts. And guys, if you did learn something from this video, don't forget to slap off that like button on today's update video, subscribe to the channel, share this video with your friends, and see you on the next one. Wishing everyone successful trades and high profits.